Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh and in today's video we will be discussing about the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2022. So the Personal Data Protection Bill has always been in news. So the point which rises that why? So even though when we will talk about the bill it becomes very technical, but in simple terms if we will talk about, then what it is. So it is saving our own country's data in our own country. For example, if you as an individual wants to save your data, you want your privacy to be maintained and you do not want your data to be seen by someone else or your data to be accessed by someone else. So that is on personal level, you or me or any individual do not like that their data should be accessed by someone else. And on country basis, every country do not want that their data should be going out of the one's own country and the other country should be able to access it, because now we say that the data is the most important thing. So first of all, let us talk about the timeline. So first we'll be talking about the news. Then if the bill becomes the law, then what will happen? Then what is the significance of a privacy law? What are the concerns around the draft bill that has been prepared, and what are the likely changes that has been made since the last draft has been prepared? Then what are the rules in the other countries? In the end, a prelims practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is government policies and interventions. So the news has been taken from the Indian Express and it says data protection bill approved by cabinet, content concerns. So since a long period of time, that is around last 5 to 6 years, the data protection bill was being prepared, but now another draft has been prepared and which has been approved by the cabinet. So let us see that what the data protection bill actually talks about. So recently what has happened is that after giving 5 to 6 years in the preparation of the data protection bill, and in the last 5 to 6 years, the Supreme Court has also said that the right to privacy is a fundamental right. So the center has again made an attempt at framing legislation for protection of data, because now we know that the importance of data is very much. We need to protect the data in our own country, and on individual basis the privacy is very important, but we do not have a legislation for the protection of that data. We need a well-defined legislation for the protection of data. Then the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2022, whose draft was floated in November and now it will be tabled in the Parliament monsoon session, and which is about to begin in the coming few days, that is only in the month of July. So this draft has been approved by the cabinet. So now let's talk about that if the draft bill will become law, then what will happen. So once the bill will become law, then we will have a proper legislation with respect to the digital data protection. Then act would be there in our country, which will play a crucial role in India's trade negotiations with other nations and especially regions like the European Union, because regions like European Union, they have their law which is called General Data Protection Rules. So when we talk about our trade negotiations and when we talk about trade with other nations, because we do not at present have a well-defined legislation regarding the digital protection law, so we cannot negotiate on that line with other nations and especially with the nations which have a well-defined legislation. For example, the European Union, which has the General Data Protection Law, and the General Data Protection Law of European Union is considered to be a base for all other countries also to define and to legislate a new law when it comes to digital protection law. Then what would be the significance of the privacy law? Then the privacy law or the digital protection law would include the Digital India Bill, the proposed successor to the Information Technology Act 2000. So the Digital India Bill would be included in that. Then the draft Indian Telecommunication Bill 2022 will also be included in it. and a policy for non-personal data governance will also be included in it. And the government withdrew from parliament an earlier version of the data protection bill. So since last 4 to 5 years, the data protection bill was prepared, now which has been withdrawn, and the new bill has been introduced, and whose draft has been prepared or has been approved by the cabinet. But it does not mean that the new draft has everything new in it. No, it contains many things from the earlier draft as well. Then the proposed law will apply to processing of digital personal data within India. Within India is the important word, because as a country we do not want to give our data to outsiders, or we do not want to outsource our data to the outside world or to any other country. To data processing outside the country, if it is done for offering goods or services or for profiling individuals in India. And it also requires entities that collect personal data called data fiduciaries. So there would be an entity called data fiduciaries, and they will be, what the data fiduciaries would be doing, that they will collect personal data. So the personal data of individuals would be collected by the data fiduciaries. So this is a technical word in this bill. And the highest penalty, which was earlier something else, but now it is proposed that it will change, then it might become rupees 250 crore per instance. But the word per instance is subjective in nature. So the word per instance has not been defined, but earlier the amount was something else, but the draft which has been approved by the cabinet, the highest penalty is prescribed to be rupees 250 crores. Then what would be the concerns around the draft bill? So the central government can exempt any instrumentality of the state. So what will happen is, if there is something related to the national security, public order, or foreign governments or relations with the foreign authorities, then those are the things which can be exempted from it. And then the law would dilute the RTI Act, as personal data of government functionaries is likely to be protected under it, making it difficult to be shared with an RTI applicant. So this might also be done. It has not been done till now because the act has not been made, but it is proposed that this can happen. Then what are the likely changes? Even though many things are exactly same as it was in the previous draft, but there are few changes also which has been prescribed. And first and foremost, I've already told you that the penalty thing has been changed to 250 crore per instance. Then the way it deals with cross-border data flows to international jurisdictions, moving from a whitelisting approach to blacklisting mechanism. So blacklisting mechanism and whitelisting means that blacklisting or negative listing are the countries with whom we will not share data at all, and whitelisting would be the countries with whom we will be sharing data or we can share data. But blacklisting or negative listing countries are with whom it is prohibited to be sharing the data. Then proposed law could allow global data flows by default to all jurisdictions other than a specified negative list of countries. So as I've told you that the negative list of countries, we will not be allowed to share data. The whitelisting approach, the countries with whom we can share data. Then a whitelist of jurisdiction where data transfers would be allowed, or make it stricter for private entities. Then private entities, the rules would be made very strict, because a strict vigil would be on them so that they do not share data with the outside world, because many a times we have seen that we have the MNCs associated or situated in our country. So it is not that the MNCs can send the data outside, or the MNCs would be sharing the data with their parent company which is situated in some other countries. So a stricter rules would be followed for them also. Then now let's talk about other countries, that how the law is in other countries also. So according to the UNCTAD, estimated 137 out of 194 countries have put in place legislation to secure the protection of data and privacy. So Out of 194, 137 countries have legislation when they talk about their protection of data and privacy. So this is a huge number. And when we talk about Africa, they have 33 countries out of 54, that becomes 61%. When we talk about Asia, that is 34 countries out of 60, this becomes 57%. So Africa has 61% adoption of protection of data, while Asia has 57%. And when we talk about the least developed countries, then we have 48% data protection and privacy laws. So it is, this data actually tells us, and this is a credible data, so this data actually tells us that the countries are now moving ahead in line to have the legislation and to protect their data and privacy of their individuals, so that the data should not be going out and their privacy should not be hampered. And in our country, privacy is also a fundamental right. Then if we talk about other countries, so first and foremost, let us talk about the European Union model, because which is considered to be the base for every single model. So that is the GDPR, that focuses on a comprehensive data protection law for processing of personal data. So this is considered to be the base model for every single legislation which is being followed by any other country for making the data protection law or act in their own country. But this is considered to be very strict law. Now let's talk about the US model, that is the United States model. It says that privacy protection is largely defined as liberty protection. So they talk about as liberty protection, and they focus on the protection of the individual's personal space from the government. So it is not that even the government or the state would have the right to enter into anyone's liberty or to hamper anyone's liberty. Then let's talk about the China model. Then this includes the Personal Information Protection Law, which came into effect in November 2021. So in China, the law has recently been made, that is few days back. This is like COVID time only, 2021. Now let us look at this, that the data protection privacy legislation worldwide. So if we talk about, then there are around 71% countries with who has the data protection legislation. 9% are the country who at present has the draft legislation. So we are also among them. And 50% countries does not have any data, and 50% countries does not have any legislation. So India is now not that part of that 15%, because now we have our draft legislation. So this was about the countries, and this is about the map. So the map in which you see the yellow color, so those are the countries which do not have legislation. So few in Africa, then there is South America, and then there is also in the Central Asia. Now let's talk about the 7 principles of the 2022 bill. So these are the 7 main principles of the 2022 bill. These are little technical things, but I'm just telling you. So first is, usage of personal data by organizations must be done in a manner that is lawful, fair. So everything needs to be done in a proper way that should be followed by law. Then second is, personal data should be used for what it was collected for. So only the purpose for what it was collected needs to be done. Then third, it talks about data minimization. Fourth is, it puts an emphasis on data accuracy, that whatever data has been adopted, it needs to be accurate. Then fifth is, storage needs to be limited and to a fixed duration. Sixth is, reasonable safeguards to ensure there is no unauthorized collection or processing of personal data. So unauthorized collection should not be there. Then seventh is, the person who decides the purpose and means of the processing of personal data should be accountable for such processing. So the accountability is also held in this 7 laws. So these are the 7 principles of the 2022 bill. It is not that you have to remember every single principle. It is just that it will make easy for you to understand things. Now in the end, a prelims practice question. You people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. This is also a PYQ of the year 2021. The right to privacy is protected under which article of the Constitution of India? Article 15, Article 19, Article 21, Article 29. So try to solve this and give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.